Hello guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 5 best watches under $100. If you're new to watch collecting and you want something relatively cheap to get you into the hobby, then these are the watches for you. So let us roll the intro and I will see you on the other side. Alright guys, welcome back. I have a list of notes with me and I have my computer in front of me, so if you see me looking down, that is what I am looking at. With all of my buying guides, the links to all of these watches that I discuss are in the description. But the first watch in our list is the Orient Symphony, and it is 41 millimeters in diameter. This is what I think is the sweet spot for me. I have pretty small wrists, but I do like kind of larger watches. This Orient watch is a dress watch, so the 12 millimeter thickness is actually pretty thin when it comes to watches, and what that does is it makes it a better dress watch because it can fit underneath a shirt cuff easier. The watch is water resistant to 30 meters, which means you can take a shower with it or you can get it in the rain, but you wouldn't necessarily want to swim with this piece. The strap that this watch comes on is a crocodile embossed calfskin leather strap, which is pretty cool. The one negative about this watch is that it has a mineral glass protecting the face of the watch. Personally, I would have liked to have seen sapphire glass or hardlex crystal. The other thing about this watch, because it is a dress watch, it doesn't have any lume. I was looking at reviews of this watch and a few people said that they returned it because they couldn't see it in the dark. It's a little divisive in the community, but generally you don't want lume on dress watches because it clutters the dial. And as you can see, this watch has a very simple, very clean dial that just works. It also has a date window at the 3 o'clock position, which the date window is my favorite complication. It's very convenient to, check your watch for the day. Another cool feature of this watch, you can see in the pictures, it is actually ion plated. And let me read off the movement here. It has the Orient in-house 48743 movement. This movement does not hack or hand wind. So what that means for newer watch people is that when you pull out the crown, the second hand doesn't actually stop. And when you pull out the crown, you can't turn it to wind the watch. The way that this watch winds is you wear it. Another really cool feature of this watch is that it has the display back window, so you can actually see the movement moving and the escapement turning, which is something really cool, and I think it's something that newer watch collectors that are interested in the mechanics of watches will really enjoy. I forgot to mention that this watch comes in at $99 exactly, so I am very, very close to the $100 line, but you should definitely pick up this watch if it's something that you like. All right, up next we have quite possibly the cheapest Japanese automatic watch on the market. This is the Seiko SNK809. It is currently $56 on Amazon, and again, it is an automatic movement, so you get the nice sweeping hand of the second. This one is much smaller than the Orient. It's 37 millimeters. 37 millimeters is a really good size, and it is pretty conservative. So the piece will age well, and it'll look good with pretty much everything. This watch is actually thinner than the Orient that we just reviewed, or just talked about. It is 11 millimeters thin, although this is much more military themed. it is technically called a field watch. So this watch also has 30 meters of water resistance. So like the last watch, you can't go swimming with the piece, but you can expose it to a little bit amount of water. This watch also has a canvas band, which is probably the main reason why it is so cheap. This watch does have a hardlex crystal on the front of the case, which is pretty cool. It has a day and date function at the 3 o'clock position. Again, this is made out of stainless steel. This watch, however, does have lume, so you will be able to see it at night. And there are various color options with this watch. You can get it in blue, you can get it in green, you can get it in black, and I think you can even get it in white. Let me talk a little bit about the movement of this watch. This is the 7S26C movement made by Seiko. This again is all done in-house. There is no hacking or hand winding of this movement, just like the last watch. But again, at this price point, you're not really expecting a whole lot of extra features, especially given that the watch has a day and a date complication. So moving on to the third watch in our category here, we have the Timex Intelligent Quartz Flyback Chronograph, which is actually a really interesting piece and one that I personally really want to get my hands on. I think one of my friends has this piece. And this piece is about $85 on Amazon. It is 43 millimeters in diameter, so I think it's a little bit big for my wrist personally, but again, if you've never owned a watch, it's very hard to tell what the correct sizing options are for you. My advice would be to go in to a watch dealer and ask them, okay, how big is this watch? And then try it on and try and find a size that you like before making your purchase. This is 13 millimeters thin. This watch has 100 meters of water resistance, so you could swim with it, but it does come on a leather strap. So if you do go swimming with it, make sure you do not wear the leather strap when you go swimming. So this piece is actually a quartz piece, not an automatic piece, which means the second hand ticks instead of sweeps across the dial, but it has so many additional features. I actually had to write all of them down, and it's way too much to memorize, so excuse me while I read them off. It has a date, a flyback chronograph, dual time, dual dial light, and it comes in multiple colors. Just like the Orient that we reviewed earlier, it has the ion plated black color to it, although you can get it in many other colors. If you're not familiar with watches, what a chronograph is, it's basically a stopwatch. This watch has 4 hours, so you can time something up to 4 hours. If you're like timing something, but you need to get many different times all in a row, a flyback chronograph is really helpful because as soon as you hit reset, it's already counting again. So that's a really desirable complication and something that you can't get on an automatic piece unless you spend thousands of extra dollars. It does have the dual time, so when the chronograph isn't operating, there's a dial in the top left hand corner, and it actually shows a second time zone. But again, this piece is quartz, so it has a battery, and eventually it will run out of juice. The other advantage automatic pieces, like the two we reviewed before this, is that they don't have a battery, and as long as the actual machinery inside the watch is working, you're perfectly fine to keep going. All right, the next watch on our list is actually a little bit above the $100 price point, but if you're willing to go the extra $20, I think this is a really good piece, and the price of this piece is dropping, so definitely check the link in the description to see how much it currently costs. This is the Orient MAko. Again, it's at 41 millimeters in diameter, which I think is perfect for smaller wrists. It's 13 millimeters thin, It has 200 meters of water resistance. So you could swim with this piece, you could actually dive with this piece, and because it is a diving watch, it comes on a rubber band, so you can go swimming with the piece without degrading the quality of the band. It has a mineral crystal on the front of the watch, which is a little bit disappointing, but again, for this price point, you can't get a perfect watch, it just doesn't exist. It comes with the day and the date function. And again, let me just read off some of the features of the watch. It has lume, which is pretty good. It has a unidirectional rotating bezel, so if you see in the pictures the red and blue bezel, that actually rotates counterclockwise, and it can't spin the other way. This is really good for counting down the time left you have left in your dive. This watch also comes with multiple different color options. The pricing varies. You may have to look around a little bit to find it underneath that $100 price point, but if you search around a little bit and you do get it for under $100, or even if you pay $120, you're getting a pretty amazing watch for your money. And I am actually probably going to purchase this watch's older brother. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see a review of that watch in the future. But let's move on to number 5. We have the G-Shock. Let me just read this. Holy crap. This is the G-Shock GA100MB-1A. Yikes. This is $65. It is a quartz piece. And this watch, as you can see with the pictures, is a total beast. It is 51 millimeters in diameter. It's 17 millimeters thick, which is pretty thick, and I personally wouldn't wear it with a dress shirt or in a dressy scenario. You're going to do some manual labor and you don't want to break your watch. I would get the G-Shock because it's made to absorb shocks to the watch, obviously, from the name. This is also 200 meters, has 200 meters of water resistance, so you can go swimming with the piece. Really, this is kind of like an ideal watch for exercising. You know, if you bang weights up against it, it's not really gonna hurt the watch. Obviously, it comes in the protective rubber band. You can't change the band like you could on all the previous watches. It has a mineral crystal glass, but again, it has that rubber protection above it. So, you know, even if you dropped it face down, you know, if you don't drop it from too far, it actually won't crack the mineral. It shouldn't even hit the mineral. All it would hit is that plastic rubber protection. And let me read off the functions of this because, again, with these quartz watches, you get so much extra functionality than you do with the automatic pieces. But again, the drawback is the battery and the ticking seconds. But it is worth noting that these pieces are a lot more accurate. So we have the world timer. So this watch actually has different time, like 29 different time zones or something. It has 4 alarms. It has a stopwatch, timer, a calendar, so you know, it's a full calendar up to 2099 or something like that. It is an analog watch, but it has a digital readout underneath it, and you can switch between you know, regular time and then military time, or you know, 12 or 24-hour formats. Again, this is rated to go 2 years without changing the battery, which is pretty cool. It's quartz. It has a backlight, so the whole dial will light up. And this again comes in multiple color options. You can get one, you can get whatever one you want. White, blue, black and red, black, black and green. You know, they have the whole rainbow of colors. So definitely check the link down in the description and you can find one that you personally like. So that pretty much wraps it up for the top watches under $100. This is a really, really hard category, and I would urge you, if you know you have $100 saved up and maybe you can only save, $20 a week. I don't know what your situation is, but if you can spare the extra $100, I would urge you to spend just a little bit more and you would get a much higher quality automatic watch. So again, if you want to check out the best watches under $200, click the link over here. I think you can see that. It'll be on one side of my face. But thank you for watching. My name is Josh. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all later.